one of my friends is into cosplay and has made himself not only a stormtrooper costume and a remote-controlled R2-D2, but is now also making himself a Darth Vader costume. And as with many cosplayers that make movie prop replicas, he wants things to be as close to the original as possible. And this was news to me. Some of Dorothy's buttons on his chest plate was apparently made out of wood. So he asked me if I could make a couple of wooden buttons for him. I, of course, said yes. The great little thing you see me constantly referencing is a 1:1 scale 3D printed button that he made for me to use as a reference. He had no preference on wood, so I just took some pallet wood. I chose to mark out the placement and cut lines on a part of the board that were deemed to have the least amount of blemishes and cracks. A lot of the steps in this video is self-explanatory, so I'll try to keep my commentary relevant or completely disconnected from what's happening on the screen. while drawing out the lines or the outlines of the buttons, I might as well explain where these buttons are going to go on the Vader costume. Here. I'm roughly cutting out the shapes on the bandsaw, my plan being to get them to final dimensions with the sander. Might be doing these cuts a bit fast, but I'm figuring that the sanding will fix that. sharpening the tip and tracing the final shape. For those of you who have seen my posts on the PeerTube forum on Lemmy, might be wondering what happened to those videos about making things for the Jewel or Christmas markets. Well, you can see in the belt sander shots here the started projects in the background. Unfortunately, I had some flare-ups on my IBD, and along with working full-time with 2 kids, I couldn't prioritize going to the workshop. So I decided, instead of trying to stress out things to sell on the Jewel markets, I'll plan and make some projects for myself instead. Hopefully these projects are going to be things you enjoy. I'm not going to spoil them, but one of them involves some milling, I'll say that. I've also been thinking about live streaming, now that PeerTube offers that. Haven't fully formed an idea about how I want to go about doing that, but I want to give it a go, so expect that in the near future. Right now I'm just sanding the pieces down to the lines that I drew off the reference button. So while on the belt sander, I realized that I had messed up. There was no way I would be able to manually sand down that amount of material and keep the shape without a jig or way too much time. But what do we do when we realize that we made a mistake? That's right, we make it worse before accepting that we need to start over. This time I'm tracing the shape closer and more precise, and taking way longer on the bandsaw, making sure that I'm as close as possible to the line. Also, I need more time on the bandsaw doing exact work. Practice is the only way to get good, and all workmanship is the same as language and math. If you don't do it regularly, you'll lose some of that skill. Story time. Back in my younger years, I wanted to be a professional welder, or I thought I wanted to be a professional welder and metal worker, or as it's referred to as in Sweden, a licensed welder. First off, let me tell you that those studies were amazing. I learned a lot, and we had so many fun projects. You could get an idea and basically have free access to material and just go to town. But I also learned a very important lesson about knowledge and workmanship. And I'm using the term workmanship here in the sense of knowing how to perform a task or a series of tasks mentally and with your hands, like motorically. So we had this teacher, I don't remember his name anymore, a very short, thin, soft-spoken and always encouraging. This man could overhead stick weld with a perfect weld in thick multi-layered welds, with one hand in his pocket and a relaxed stance, like another one pulls their fingers through their hair. I had never seen such mastery of a specific craft before, or since. This man had managed what most of us can only dream of, mastering something to the point that is as easy as turning the page of a book. No wait, that's a bad example. I sometimes struggle with just getting hold of a single page. As simple as going for a walk. But he had been a welder his entire working life. I might be hasty on my memory here, but I want to remember him talking about welding submarines. So, very strict tolerances on that weld. And then becoming a welding teacher. This man never stopped practicing his welding. And once he became a teacher, he had to understand what and how he does it to teach the skill, deepening his understanding of his craft even further. Although I don't aim to become a master of anything myself, rather accumulate as many skills as possible, I always try to maintain the skills I have along with learning new ones. Teaching is the most powerful tool to cement the knowledge you have, but you don't have to have a pupil to teach. Write it down, talk to yourself. The action of explaining what you did right and what you did wrong will help you understand your own process and how you learn new things. But most importantly, never be afraid to make mistakes. They are teachable moments for you and for others. And that's why I didn't make jigs for these buttons, because jigs would have helped out a lot. Along with the jokes aside, I specifically decided against making jigs because I'm not planning on making more than these, so repeatability is not really a priority. The story, though, still holds true.
You don't know who you are.
This time around, I decided to make the angles exact and sand my way up to the dimensions instead.
am someone who doesn't know who they are. You don't know who you are.
And now just some light sanding to smooth everything out. The buttons are essentially done. My friend will take over and prime, sand, paint, and maybe sand them again and paint them again. Hopefully you enjoyed following along as I made this little side project. Was never my intention to encroach on the prop maker spaces, such as Adam Savage's spaces, but who am I to say no to a friend?